Hey everybody, welcome back to Mike's World. Today we're going to be reviewing and going over this little thing. This is the Honeywell. It's essentially I'll call it a mini space heater. It's a ceramic space heater. I picked this up. These are pretty cheap. They're like 20, 25 bucks on Amazon. They're real small, real lightweight. They're like a desktop, but they're really, really good space heaters. What I picked this up for is my boys race motocross. We have an enclosed trailer and wanted something small that I could use in the trailer, run off a generator. And the great thing about this Honeywell ceramic heater at high setting is only 250 watts. In the low setting, it pulls 170 watts. That's really important because if you're running this off of a generator, you don't want to overload your generator, and you also want to be able to run other things off your generator as well as your heater. This thing works great, and it surprisingly puts out a pretty good amount of heat. Now, the box says on it, not to heat a room, it's to heat you. I mean, this really is a tabletop space heater. It really is like a little personal space heater. But the one thing great about these is they will heat a small space. And so let's talk about what they would heat. The first use, small campers and RVs. These are perfect. They're not going to draw a whole lot of power, but they do put out enough heat that they would basically warm up an insulated room. Small rooms in your home, such as a bathroom, would be great for these. Any other small space, if you were to lose power and you have to hook up your generator, and let's say you don't really have a big generator. I have a 4-cycle 1200 watt generator. So, you're going to be limited on what you can power. And if your power goes out, what are you going to want? You're going to want to run a freezer if you have one. You're going to want to run your refrigerator to keep everything from spoiling. You're probably going to run your router, maybe try to run a TV and a few lights. You can do all that on a generator like that, but you can also, if you get the whole family huddled into a small room, 300 square foot or less, y'all can huddle in a room and you can still run this heater and keep yourselves warm because it will heat a small room like that. So one of the things, let's go over what this has, the features of it. It's pretty basic and it's pretty good. It does have some protection. So first and foremost, it's got a full plastic housing and it has a sensor here on the front. The on-off switch is on the top, low and high. It just has the two settings. And then on the bottom, this is also interesting, really good. It's got a safety feature. It's it's a safety switch so that if this tilts over, it stops working. And so essentially it has to sit flat and it has to compress this down to work. Now, one little limitation to that is if you have a room that has some thick carpet or thicker carpet, you sit this down, it may not press that all the way down, and so it's best to use this on a harder surface. And that's really all that there is to this. It's got a plastic housing, it's got an on-off switch, it has a safety switch on the bottom to keep it if it tilts over, which is great to have. And that's about it. It is really ultra quiet. Listen to this right now. You can hear just the heater in the room I recorded a little bit ago. So hardly any noise coming off this at all. It's just a great item in my opinion. It's perfect and versatile for personal use, for emergency use. Doesn't draw a lot of power, like I said, great for generators. And just overall, I think it's a great product. Now, there's a lot of these that you can find online. They range in price. I ended up picking this one up, and I think it's great. I think it works perfectly. Now, before you go using space heaters, let's talk about space heater safety as well. One of the things you want to remember about any space heater, no matter what it is you want to have this in somewhat of an open area, and a good rule of thumb, don't have anything within 3 feet of your space heater. You don't want to have anything within 3 feet. If you put this up really close to you, if there's a blanket in front of it, you're just setting yourself up for a tragedy, a house fire, things like that. So remember, with space heaters, they need to kind of be out in somewhat of an open area, away from any material, blankets, cloths, anything like paper, because it could catch things on fire. So you need to remember that. And the other thing you want to remember is with space heaters, you never ever want to plug them into a surge protector or an extension cord, unless it's a really thick, heavy-duty extension cord. Otherwise, you want to plug these in directly into your wall outlet, and that will minimize the risk of any kind of a fire or shorting out, because space heaters, you know, they do draw a lot of power. Even though this draws 250 watts, you'll notice after a while the plug itself, the wire, will start to feel warm. It'll get really flexible, and there's a lot of current going through there. So again, plug into an outlet. That's the preferred method. If you are using an extension cord, please make sure it's not a flimsy household extension cord. It needs to be a really thick one. Think of those big, thick orange ones that people use for construction, things like that, or you use outside for Christmas lights. The really thick 3-prong with a ground. You want to use one of those extension cords with a space heater. So really, that's about it. The temperature, I would say, you can feel the heat coming off this thing, probably a good 5 feet maybe. It's pretty good. So on high power, it's a really good space heater. That's all I have. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please like the video and always leave a comment. Love to hear what you have to say. And if you have one of these, let me know. If you have a different brand, let me know what you think of it. So, hey guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Take care.